Okay, you're good to go.
Hi teachers, I'm so excited you guys are here. Thanks for joining. I'm Ashlyn Ellsworth. I am a first grade teacher from Phoenix, Arizona. I'm super excited to be here on Michael's and share with you one of my favorite parts about being in the classroom. And it's setting up a space that is fun for our students. It's going to help them build a sense of community, a place where they have fun and enjoy being, whether that's at home behind you because you're doing virtual teaching, or if you're lucky enough to be in your classroom. I have the best back to school bulletin board that can be used for your backdrop, but also an interactive fun thing that you can use for the first day of school. So I'm excited to be here with you. A little bit about me, more about me. I've been teaching for 14 years. Today marked my 15th year of teaching. Today was actually my first day of school. So here I am with you guys on michaels.com, and I am just super excited to be connecting with teachers from around the country, but also just giving back to teachers, because I have been experiencing the last week of chaos. It really has been chaos at school. And if you're back in the classroom or prepping for back to school, you know and understand the stresses that we are all having, whether we are teaching virtually or we are welcoming our classes, whether it's a hybrid situation or not. But I just wanted to wish you all luck as you are going through the stresses of back to school, because this year is so different than any year we've ever experienced. So best of luck as we do that. But for the next 30 minutes, I want us to forget about the stresses. I want us to enjoy what we love and setting up a classroom space that can be fun for our students, but also interactive. So to get started, I wanted to go through all of the things that I'm putting up on this bulletin board here are items from Michael's. And I'm putting together this bulletin board so that you can head on over to Michael's, grab those things. And at the end of this, I'm going to be sharing some other ideas of what you can do with the board, because I love having purposeful decor in my classroom. So that means that my boards have a purpose, they have a meaning for my students. I don't just put them up to make it look good. I have something on there, or it's interactive of some sort. So I'm gonna go through first to show you all of the supplies you need, and then I'm going to get started with assembling the rest of this bulletin board, and then we'll have time for questions and doing all those things as we go along. So to get started, first of all, the background is really important. I love Fadeless paper. Fadeless paper is really important, especially for me here in Arizona. I'm in a very hot sunshine state, and our paper fades really quickly. In fact, I've put up a bulletin board, and within like the rest of the week, it's already faded. So I love Michael's Fadeless paper. They come in a lot of different colors. I like to stick with black because it helps pop whatever is sitting on top of that paper out. But they have lots of prints, solid colors, you name it, they're there as well. The borders also from their back to school section as well right now at Michael's. And then we are going to be using some other back to school section items. So these are the punch out letters. I love picking up sets of these because they're really handy to have for whatever reason you need, whether it's bulletin boards, any activities you're doing in the classroom. So we're going to be using the letters. We're going to be using these little fun activity sheets that you can find right now in Michael's back to school section. One of my favorite lines at Michael is the Celebrate It. I use the Celebrate It paper bags, paper fans, the party decoration section. I use those all for my bulletin board. So we're going to be using these paper bags, as well as the Celebrate It twine. And I love the black and white stripe. I've already hung this one so you can see how we're gonna do that. And then also we're gonna be using some clothespins, lots of colors to choose from. And let's see, my newest favorite obsession, you guys. Last year I posted a video on my social media of how to make pom-poms, and I did it with a piece of cardboard, and it took me way longer. And this year, I found, yes, can you guys see that okay? I found this amazing tool. I'm gonna show you how to use it. So I'm using yarn and these amazing Pom Pom Makers. They have them in different sizes. So I've already got these ones assembled for us, but I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna show you how to do those. You guys, this was the best $5 I've ever spent, seriously. And then let's see, what else? I think that's all that we're gonna need. So border, again, like I said, is from the back to school section as well. So the reason I like purposeful decor, before I get started, is that it gives the student ownership. So whether you put up a board and don't put anything on it for right now, but giving your students the opportunity to add things to it will just help them have that sense of community. But the reason I'm going to be doing this bulletin board is not only will it be a great backdrop for your classroom, whether virtual or in person, it's going to be a really fun get to know you activity so you can get to know and recognize and spotlight all of the students that you have in your classroom this year. So let's get started. So we're gonna start with probably my favorite part is the pom-poms. So I've already started, I took out one of the pom-pom tools, okay? So it looks really intimidating at first, but it's not so bad. So basically this comes apart like this, okay? And you're going to just start wrapping yarn along one side. So you open up both of these side arms, I guess is what you want to call them, and you're just going to wrap, okay? Now, here's the deal. I'm going to be assembling as we go, and so there's so many of you out there, so if you have questions or you want to, know something, you guys are welcome to ask those. They're going to be doing that throughout the video as I am just assembling away. But these are, seriously, you guys are going to die when you see this, but I don't know where these were last year, but hey, I made it work last year with a cardboard thing. This, my favorite tool in the whole wide world. So I mentioned it earlier today. Today was my first day of school, and holy cow. I can't even. It is such a interesting dynamic right now in Arizona. So Arizona right now cannot be in person. No schools in Arizona can have in-person instruction. So everybody's starting the year virtually online. And so today was our first day virtually. So as you can see, I got the one side, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to close that and then open the next one and do the same thing along this one as well. So going back to my first day of school, it has been just craziness. All the teachers have the option to work from home or they can come into school. I chose to come into school. Oh no, oh no. Hold on, my thing rolled under the table. Sorry, you know how yarn is, it can just roll away from you. Anyways, and so the teachers got to choose to be in person or they got to work from home. I chose to be at school because it is my happy place in my classroom, and I felt like teaching my kids online was going to be a lot easier if I had all of my my books and everything that I have in my classroom. So I chose to do that. It's been really interesting to have my coworkers around, some of them. It's been really hard. Everybody's very stressed out. And that's been probably the one thing that I've had a really hard time with. At the beginning of the year, we're all excited to come back from summer break to see each other. And I feel like since we reported back last Wednesday, I think everybody literally has no smile on their face. Yes, we're wearing masks, so I can't see the smiles, but I can just tell the stress and the anxiety that the teachers are facing. And so believe me, I understand your feelings. I think Arizona is one of the earliest to go back to school. I technically was supposed to go back to school in July, but they had pushed back our start date. So it's very odd for me to start in August, actually. And so, yeah, it's just been so stressful. So here it is. I have both sides all done. Notice it didn't really take that long. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be cutting, well, first I'm going to tie I'm going to cut and tie a center thing that's going to hold them all together. And then that way I can then cut and it'll separate it apart. So make sure I remember how to do this. Okay.
So someone wants to know what grade you teach, Ashlyn.
What grade? Did I not say that? Oh my goodness. So I am in first grade. I teach first grade. This is my first year teaching first grade. I've taught it before, but it's been many years since I've been back in the lower grades. I I usually teach second and third grade, but this year I am making the change to first grade. I am job sharing this year, so that's the other thing that has been another stress, is learning how to co-teach with another partner. It's been really fun to learn. I'm learning so much from her, and it's really great to be there together because it's just been such a, it's been good to be there because we have each other. And I think that's been the number one thing that I love. Okay, so as you can see, I'm starting to cut these apart. You're gonna want a pretty good pair of scissors because if you don't have, these are not my greatest. I'm not a sewer, so I don't have sewing scissors, but you're gonna cut, and then once you cut it apart, and I'm not gonna go through all of it just because of time, but what you're gonna do, you're gonna cut these all apart, then you're gonna tie it all together, and once you tie it all together, it's going to make those pom-poms that look like this. Okay, after you pull it off of the machine, it literally just pops right off. And then what you have to do is you do have to trim it up a bit so that once you trim it, it'll, there's always, you gotta give the little puff a little haircut like that, but it looks like that. So as you can see, I took the Celebrate It twine and I went ahead, and you can, if you push through the center, you can see I can actually stick my finger through there. So that little hole is where I will put and string the twine to go through. Now, one tip for a bulletin board, sometimes our little pom-pom banners, they can droop too much. So one thing you want to do is I like to get it placed on the sides, and then once I do it, I've stapled it here and here so that it keeps it in place. So just so you know, you can do that. You don't have to just keep it hanging, and then that way, especially if it's gonna be on a board that you're gonna keep up for a long period of time, you can do that. So you guys, you've gotta go get that Pom Pom Maker, quick little pom-poms. I did this one. I did this Pom Pom Maker, or I used those pom-poms, and I did that whole banner in about 30 minutes. So it didn't take as long, and I'll tell you, it was way faster than using that cardboard makeshift thing that I used. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next part. Now that we've gotten our banner, pom-pom banner made, we're going to be moving on to the part where we're gonna be using our paper bags. And you're gonna see after we get it assembled why the paper bags. We could take and we could just put the letters right on the board, right? We can do that, but this is what's gonna make this really fun. It's gonna make it really interactive, and it's gonna make it pop out just to be an eye-catching display in your classroom, in the hallway, wherever it might be. So you're going to be, for this bulletin board, I'm going to be doing hello first grade, and you can do whatever you want. You can do hello third grade, fifth grade. You could have whatever saying you want, and we're gonna be taking, and we're going to be gluing the letters. I already punched them out. So they come pre-punched, but you have to just separate it. I'm going to be gluing those letters right here into the center of our paper bag. Okay, so as I do that, again, if you have questions, you are welcome to ask. I'm glad somebody asked about my first, I just got so excited to start on these, this bulletin board until I forgot. So I have experience in my 14 years of teaching. I have taught grades. I started my very first year teaching in 4th grade. And in 4th grade, you guys, I can't even remember my first year teaching. That's how crazy it is. And if you're a first year teacher, kudos to you, because especially this year, I feel like a first year teacher this year, to be honest. So I'm just continuing to glue as we go, okay? So I've taught 4th grade. I then went to 2nd grade, and I've taught most of my years in 2nd grade. And it wasn't until I did do 1st grade for a little bit when I moved to Colorado, just for a brief time. And then I looped up with my class from 2nd grade. Last year, I looped up to 3rd grade with them. And that was so amazing. If you've ever looped up with your class, I got to keep every single one of them. I gained one new student. But it was such an amazing experience to be able to continue on learning with them, knowing where they are at the very beginning of the year. It was such a really great experience for me, and I hope for the students as well. I wish it was this year. as it was really hard, you know, as we started the year today, I started thinking, I'm like, gosh, I wish I was looping because it would be so much better knowing the kids. That's my biggest fear with all of this and teaching virtually. I don't know about you guys, but my biggest fear is not knowing the, you know, instructional levels of all of these kids that I have in front of my face. So I'm sitting there looking at them on the computer. They are so adorable. And I just think, okay, can you read? Do you know your sounds? Do you know, like that's my biggest stress. And that is the nightmares I'm having. And so I'm trying to figure out, how are we going to do this? How are we going to assess? How are we going? So like I said, I'm grateful to have a teaching partner because we can figure it out together, right? That's the best part. All right, so I've gone ahead and I have glued all of my bags, okay? So what we're gonna do is now I'm going to show you how you're going to assemble them. I've already hung the banner. So I have 3 rows of the banner. So I'm starting with the pom-pom, and I'm gonna be hanging the paper bags on the 2nd and the 3rd row, okay? I'm going to be doing the word hello, and then I'm gonna be doing the word first grade, okay? And again, if you don't teach first grade, well, you can do a different grade. You could do anything. That's the thing I love about this, is you could literally do any saying you want. So you're gonna open it up, okay? And then you're just gonna fold just about 1 inch down, just like you would with a lunch sack. And then we're gonna be pinning them on, just like this, onto the board. Now I will say, depending on where you're hanging this up, I don't know about you, well, I guess right now it's not really a concern because there's no students at my school, but if it's a hallway bulletin board, you're gonna wanna be careful that it's up high enough that the kids' little hands and heads don't hit that, right? So keep in mind where you're putting it. This one's gonna be behind me as I teach because I'm gonna be using it. I'll show you guys in just a little bit of what it will look like and how you can use that. Okay, so notice, this is how I do all of my letters on my bulletin boards. Notice what I did. I know the word hello has 5 letters. I started with the L because the L is the middle. I start and I work from the center out, okay? So, just like that. And the thing I like about this bulletin board is when people see it, they're gonna be like, what's in the bags, right? And they wanna know, what is the purpose of it? So, got the first row, as you can see. Okay, and now I'm gonna be working on the bottom row, the first grade part. And as I do that, you guys can continue to ask those questions. I love to hear those questions. I'm gonna kind of figure out again my middle, and since it's first in grade, I'm going to start with, let's see, I'm gonna work backwards here. So one thing I was thinking as I was assembling and getting ready was how amazing I love Michael's. You guys, Michael's is my one place that I buy all of my school supplies from for my classroom. It is the place that I find my planners. It's the place that I find every little thing. So if I had to say, what is my very favorite Michael's product, I couldn't pick something. Right now, like I said, it's the Pom Pom Maker because I think it's amazing. I love Happy Planner, the Happy Planner products. I think one of my favorite things is the Happy Planner Hole Punch, because the hole punch, you can add sheets to your planner, and I do that for my planner because I want to be able to, you know, put my lesson plan templates and whatnot in there. So I would say those are probably my favorite. I also mentioned earlier in the video, I love the Celebrate It product line because they are such great bulletin board accents, from the tissue paper to the paper bags to the everything you can imagine. I love that line of products. Okay. So I'm curious, I can see your guys' faces, so you can always nod with me, but is there anybody that's already started school that's with me? No, everybody's saying no. Nobody's starting school yet. Well, you're going to. You're going to be feeling my pain really, really soon. I'm trying my best to keep a really good attitude because I feel like that's the only way that it's going to rub off to the parents and to our students is to have that positive attitude. So I'm trying my best to keep positive, but it is just every day brings a new adventure, truly. We have in our district just changing information hour by hour. And so even now that school started, we are still experiencing just crazy changes, whether it's, accessing a Google Classroom or whatever it is, we just keep getting the changes of information.
We've got a lot of people starting very soon.
Okay,
so they're saying they're starting August 18th, August 10th, August 24th. Somebody in Georgia started today. So they are very happy that you're sharing your experience because they're
I love
a little nervous to start too. So
it is. I don't think I want to be the first one to start, but I'm glad that, hey, I can already check my first day off, right? Okay, I'm getting closer. I just have my two ends right here. I'm going to pay attention more to the chats. I've been
We've got a couple happy planners out there as well.
I love the happy planners. Love it. Okay. So as you can see now, we've got our bulletin board somewhat assembled, and you can see it's just such a fun, bright way to put some lettering onto your bulletin board, but it gives it some purpose. So what I want to do now is I want to share kind of what my plan is for this and give you some other ideas because there's so many fun things that you can do. So depending on how many students that you have in your classroom, you can use one bag per student, or you can put a couple of kids in each bag. But I love these All About Me posters that they had in their back to school section. So you could have your students complete these ahead of time, or you could have your parents fill out, if you haven't met your kids or you're not going to be able to meet them in person, you could send out a Google form of information that the parents fill out about them, just ways to spotlight them, their favorite colors, their favorite thing to do, special talents, whatever it is, have the parents fill that out. Then what you can do is fold it up and put it in the bag. And then every single morning that you are with your class, you can reveal one of the bags and open it up and excite those kids because you can share information and get to know them because it's just that element of surprise. And the kids are really going to love that. And not only is it a fun bulletin board background for your virtual classroom, but it's also a fun way to get to know your students on the first day of school or the first week of school. So like I said, it can be a little All About Me poster. You could send a Google form. There's lots of different ideas that you can do with that. You could put kids' names on popsicle sticks if you would rather and not put any paper in there, and then have them that way. Another fun idea, I don't know if you guys noticed it this year, but in the Michaels section for back to school, they have all the treasure box surprises. I call them treasure box goodies, but it's all the classroom reward type of things, pencils, erasers, little things of slime, whatever it might be. So when you spotlight a kiddo, let's say this is Johnny's, and you pull Johnny's spotlight out and you read about him and you celebrate and the kids welcome them and you're just really excited to get to know them, you can also share a special prize for them. And there are lots of other things. If you're a virtual teacher and you're doing everything virtually, there are virtual rewards that you can do. You can do a fun dance party. You can sing. You can have them get like a day of no homework or a day of no math, whatever it is. There's lots of ways you can still reward and excite those kids because that's important. We want them to feel the sense of community, the sense of excitement that they get in the classroom, even if it is not live in person. And so that's one thing that I love about this. So that is what I have. It's a fun interactive bulletin board. I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and I want to take more questions if you guys have final questions or anything to add. I am so grateful for this opportunity to be with you here with Michaels and share just something, a fun way, easy. It's really easy. And to be honest, you probably have most of these supplies in your classroom. I don't know about you, but I have tons of things of yarn, paper bags. You can do it in any way, but like I said, Michaels has all of those supplies so that you can access those and make it and just have fun with those students and get to know them. Thank you so much for watching. Again, you can follow me over on the Creative Classroom on Instagram. I'm also there sharing lots of other bulletin board ideas. I'll be sharing more virtual classroom ways to just engage your students for this upcoming school year. So we can leave it to any final questions. And if not, I hope you guys have a great first day of school this upcoming month. And I'm gonna pray for you guys all because we're all gonna need it because this is gonna be an exciting year. Thank you so much, you guys.
Oh, we do have one person who's asking, is there any way to be tailored, like this to be tailored, or any ideas for high school students?
Awesome. Okay, so I think you can easily do this for any age level. You can obviously have a fun saying. It could be just a word. It could be just, it could be kindness, or it could be any type of word. And like I said, with high school, it's hard because it is, you know, they're going from class to class. You could have, somehow you could put maybe a different class in each bag. So you could have maybe period 1, period 2, period 3, whatever. And then you can pull a stick from that class, a kid that's in that class, and spotlight them. There's lots of different ways you could do it, but that's just one idea that kind of comes to my mind is, you know, maybe have a bag for each class that you teach and have all those students' names in there that way.
Gotcha. And somebody is wondering if you have any ideas for college students as well.
College.
We're moving on up.
Well, I think the same kind of thing as I would do with high school. I think it just, you know, it's a fun display, a way to, I don't know, especially I'm thinking college as in like education background of college. Like I have some friends that are teacher friends of mine who actually are professors at the college in the education program. So they are actually doing a lot of the things that they would do in their elementary classroom, but they're showing it to those students that are trying to be teachers one day and training those. So again, it can be that simple of just having one bag per class or one, I don't know, there's lots of different things you could do with it.
I think that's it. Everybody's just saying thank you. They're super excited for the Friday class for Happy Planners. So thank you, awesome, for mentioning that.
Of course.
And just other ideas. Someone said a growth mindset board. You could do a question of the day centered around whatever lesson you're learning in each bag. So lots of great ideas out there.
Yeah, this year, my classroom focus is on kindness and just building a classroom around acceptance of everybody and celebrating everybody's differences. And so I think using a word or a character trait would be a really great way to do this as well. If you're doing the word respect or whatnot for the month, you could use that on the bags as well, and have maybe if your focus is respect in each bag, you could have an idea of how we could show respect in the classroom, or it could be scenarios of for the kids to, you know, walk through and practice. Because social emotional learning is so important. It's one of my passions for this upcoming year, and especially in the times that we're in, we have so many needs and emotional, mental needs that we need to make sure we meet for these kids, because mindfulness is so important right now for both teachers and students. So, okay.
Absolutely.
Trying to read comments too.
Yeah. So yeah, they said you can even share about you as a teacher on in one of the bags, or do questions of the day.
Yeah, I love that idea. That actually just gives me the idea. You could put your last name, you know what I mean? Like Mrs. Ellsworth could be on here and have maybe a favorite thing about, you know, my favorite colors in one bag, and every day it's something about me just to get them to get to know. I love that idea.
And they said, could you please show the Pom Pom Maker one more time?
Show the Pom Pom Maker.
Yeah.
I can see that. I opened mine up. So this one that I have, it's by Clover is the brand. Okay, Clover. And this one, mine, I have the smaller one I was using. So this size that made this one is the one that was right here. So this is gonna make a bigger pom-pom. They had, I believe, there was one size bigger. So this is the large, the two large sizes. I think there was a medium one, and then there's, because you could make smaller. I know a lot of people will make the smaller ones for like your bags, for like little hanging tassels on the teacher bags. So I've seen that before. And of course you could make really big fun pom-pom, especially if you had a really large bulletin board. So yep, the brand is Clover, and it is the Pom Pom Maker. Again, this is the large size right there.
Awesome, thank you.
Yep.
Some people are saying they can put pom-poms around their entire board.
I love it. You can also make pom-poms and have them as like little, if you make the small ones, you can always use them for like in a jar, you know, to earn points for your kids. The class loves these. Kids love these. Okay.
Hang them from the ceiling, says Sabrina.
So true. I think, you know, the sewing section at Michael's, I always, because I'm not a sewer, you don't want me to sew, to be honest. Like literally you don't want me to sew. I remember I was an A student. I loved studying. I was a good student. But when it came to my sewing class in high school, that was the one project I failed. I was making an apron, and the teacher, I will never forget this. And as a teacher, it's in my mind. Okay. I sewed the pocket on the apron, and the teacher in front of the entire class took and tugged my pocket, and it came off, and did it in front of everybody. And to this day, it still like makes me so nervous to sew. It makes me so. That was a really important time for me to realize that I would never do that. You know, never embarrass a student because they did something wrong, and I would help them try to fix that, because she did not. And now I'm so afraid of sewing. Okay.
I also had to take, well, we called it home ec in middle school. But we we also had to sew an apron and a pillow.
Yes. I have done a pillow. So, okay, I actually own a sewing machine too. So it's just, I get very nervous, and it always takes me so much time. I'm the teacher, it's my teacher mind. And it's like, okay, what can I do that's going to be cute, awesome, but not take a lot of time, because my time is precious. So yeah.
Yes. I also have a sewing machine that I got years ago on a Black Friday deal, and still in the closet.
Well, I know there's probably amazing seamstresses and sewers out there.
I bet. Yes. Yeah. Sabrina said she sewed her own prom dress. That's way beyond my skill.
Same
Buttons
here.
and hems, that's about it.
Oh my goodness.
So everybody else is just, I think that's it for comments so far, but everybody's getting ready to start school. Some are saying that they're doing virtual until the end of September.
Yep.
So it's kind of different everywhere right now.
It is, and it's very, I don't know about you, but we are still waiting for, not that we're going to get an exact date that we know when we can go back, but we're still waiting for some statistics from our governor and from the CDC and all that are trying to make it so that it's a safe return, but we don't want to put any children and staff members into any situation that would be, because the fear is that we're going to open up and then have to close back down. So I foresee at least our district maybe closing for the first quarter. So.
Yeah, but do you have a favorite type of yarn that you use for your pom-poms?
That's a great question, actually. So it's funny because I'm more about color than I am about type of yarn. I wanted a certain color of these, I don't know, I just love pinks, and I don't know, I liked this red because it wasn't like fire engine red. So this sugar and cream had some really fun colors. The one thing I will say is that it's not a thick yarn. And so if you're really looking for a really thick, puffy pom-pom, you're going to want to get probably a more expensive yarn and also thicker. So just be aware too, though, that the thicker the yarn, the better the scissors you're going to need to cut through that, because you're going to be wrapping around and having to cut that. So this is a lot thinner, but for my purposes, I think it worked really great, and it did. It had some amazing colors that I like, because I'm very much a color coordinated one. So.
And we've got a couple of people who love your shirt.
Oh, thank you. So this is one that I actually sell on my website. It's a design that I have. So I wore it for my first day of school. So it's a good one. Thank you though. Okay.
Someone says that yarn comes scented.
I just read that as you were reading that. Now I'm like, no, this is not scented.
That's not the scented one. Okay.
No, this is definitely not, but I could see where they're like saying sugar and cream.
If
like,
there's, yeah.
Scented yarn.
Scented yarn.
Of course. Teachers love scented everything. Kids like scented
Right?
stickers, everything.
Yeah. My favorite thing in school was scented markers.
Yes. So now I'm really intrigued. So sugar and cream, go get your scented yarn. Your bulletin board can look good and smell good as well. Okay, the name of, the website. So it is the Creative Classroom. So if you just go and Google search the Creative Classroom and you can put in my name, it's Ashlyn Ellsworth, you will find me, you'll find my website. And again, I'm always sharing lots of bulletin board fun ideas for your classroom. And again, my focus this year for social emotional learning, I'll be sharing a lot of fun bulletin boards. I'm changing out my bulletin board in our hallway every single month with a kindness theme. So I'll be sharing those this year, with a Halloween and a Christmas theme. So you don't want to miss those because those are fun ways to have those interactive and fun bulletin boards. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much. You have been so active in those comments and giving us so many ideas, even as we are going along. You were teaching me things that I didn't know, like scented yarn and ideas for the bulletin boards, even in high school and college. I get in such a mindset of just like elementary school, but a lot of times we have to think they're just big kids, right? They still appreciate these things as much as those little first graders do as well. So I think a lot of those
I think we're all big kids.
We are totally big kids. And I think that's why teachers we are big kids. We love crafting. We love doing those things. That's why you guys are here. And that's why you love Michael's, is because you love crafting. And so I see a lot of heads going, yeah, that's why I'm here. I love it. My husband always says, Target and Michael's, like those are my two places I can't stay out of. Okay. Glow in the dark yarn. You guys are blowing my minds here. That is so awesome. Tons of books. Yes. So awesome. So many fun comments. So thank you. Well, guys, I don't want to keep you guys too long because I know that you are trying to probably enjoy your last few days of summer vacation. Or if you're like me, I need to go get rest because I have day 2 tomorrow and I have to go, rock it again. And I'm so excited to see those kiddos. It was so fun seeing their little faces. And I promise, as much as the stress and the anxiety that we're going to experience, it's going to be worth it no matter what, because we're making a difference. Even if it's not in person, you're making a difference. They're going to feel that connection. Even through that screen, you can still make those relationships powerful and make a difference in their lives because they need you and you were placed in their life this year for a reason. And so you guys are going to rock it this upcoming year. I would love to connect with you. Message me. I would love to, hear and celebrate with you as well. So catch me on Instagram. Thanks again, you guys, for watching, and happy back to school. Good luck.
Thanks, Ashlyn. Good luck tomorrow and the rest of the year.
Thank you. Thanks.